Minecraft. Is there literally any game more accessible or more popular than the iconic sandbox title? Well, during one of our routine social distancing appropriate remote conference meetings, we discovered that the infographic show's favorite lab rat has never even touched the game, saying, "I don't get it, the graphics look awful." Well, we couldn't really fire him for having a bad taste in games, so instead, we challenged him with playing Minecraft for the very first time. Start. Alright, I'm gonna be completely brutally honest here, I don't get it. I mean the Minecraft craze. It looks like a game for kids, but some of my very adult friends are some of the most hardcore Minecraft players out there. One of them even used to make Minecraft worlds for some game show based on the game. I got a copy of the game and it booted up and, well, the graphics are awful. I guess I get it though, it's a huge open world that's totally your sandbox, so you can't have good graphics or your computer will melt. I do like the tongue-in-cheek loading screen tips though, that's a nice touch. Okay, so I loaded into my temporary Minecraft life and I started in the middle of nowhere. My starting area is right next to the ocean, but it looks like somewhere really cold because I can see ice sheets. Maybe I'm in Minecraft Canada? I have no idea if this starting area is good or not, because I have no idea what a good starting area would even be. There's trees though, and I heard that you basically start with wood and you chop it down with your bare hands, so I got to karate chopping trees. Not long after starting to chop down trees, I had a dog come up to me, which was kinda cute. To be honest, I thought it was a sheep until it turned profile to me and I could see it better. Cute doggy, unless it tries to kill me of course, which thankfully it did not. Which was weird because I'd heard that Minecraft was full of monsters that would try to eat you, which I quickly discovered after making my first crafting table or whatever it's called. Right there on the shore of my brand new beachfront property were 3 zombies. One was carrying a trident, which is a bit weird but very nautical. Seeing as I was armed with literally nothing but a block of wood, I gave them a wide berth and got back to karate chopping trees. But pretty quickly night began to fall. I guess nighttime is when all the other monsters come out because suddenly there were zombies and spiders all over the place, and one managed to kill me. I guess blocks of wood don't make for very good weapons. Also, there was a weird, creepy, tall black creature with glowing eyes that kept teleporting around, but not attacking me. It was just weird. Luckily though, I literally died like 30 steps away from where I spawned into the world, so dying a further 2 or 3 times was really nothing much more than a minor inconvenience. Okay, so the little research I did beforehand told me to set down that crafting table block thingy and start making tools out of wood, so I did that. No idea what the hoe does, and when I asked a girlfriend what a hoe does, because her little cousins play a ton of Minecraft, she just responded with, "Ask your mama," because my girlfriend is a comedy genius. I made a hoe anyway, along with an axe and a sword, which definitely sounded like a good idea because I was tired of dying a ton. Then I figured in a game called Minecraft that actually mining stuff was important, so I got a pickaxe. Good thing I got that sword too, because very shortly after, another zombie came rushing at me and I whacked him into pixel oblivion. He dropped a cool gold helmet with an enchantment on it, so that was pretty sweet. My first piece of armor. Hopefully all the bad guys will start swinging at my head now since that's pretty well protected. Alrighty, it was time to get serious about survival. So I dug my first mine shaft. Figured it would be a bad idea to dig straight down since I'd have no way to get back up. So I made sort of a round staircase going down as deep as I could go because I was curious exactly how big this world is. It was kinda cool to be so in control of the environment, I'm not gonna lie. Eventually I hit blocks I couldn't break, which I googled and it turned out to be bedrock. Basically there you keep from falling off the world, and that makes sense. I started digging in a random direction and found what Google told me was iron ore. Hooray! Now I can make armor, so I'm not so squishy anymore and I die in like 3 hits. My flimsy little pickaxe broke, so I headed to the surface, excited to try out the iron stuff. When I got up top though, I got hammered by some weird manta ray floating thing up in the sky, which Google said was a phantom. Apparently it's the equivalent of pestering parents who want you to go to bed, so I decided that building a bed and sleeping in it should be at the top of my list of things to do. Unfortunately, this meant finding a sheep so I could get some wool, which took forever to find. Eventually though, I came back to my little slice of beachfront property and started building a home to sleep in. Well, a hovel would be more accurate. I literally threw it together out of whatever blocks I had on me at the time, eager to get inside of something safe and stop that weird sky manta ray from attacking me. After a good night of sleep, I went back into the mines. Have to admit, digging and finding resources was kind of exciting, and I can see why it'd be addicting for people. I was even starting to think the graphics were kinda cute, especially when I ran across a baby cow while up top. The girlfriend looked over and immediately awed, so I killed that baby cow. That was revenge for the hoe thing I told her. Night came again, and along with it, a zombie dressed in gold armor. This blinged out zombie needed to die, because I very much wanted what he was wearing. Much to my surprise, he dropped both pieces of armor he had on, and I had a full health gold chest plate and pants with blast protection. It's a good thing I had blast protection too, because I very shortly thereafter met a creeper. I can't tell you how much I hate those piece of crap green idiots, and I can't tell you how many times over the last few days I'd been sitting there quietly minding my own business on my farm when suddenly, boom! There goes my terrain, my fencing, several of my animals. Anyway, that first creeper promptly blew up in my face, and I resolved to find a better way to try and kill them. Returning to my third world hovel, I decided I needed to take my living situation a bit more seriously and experiment with constructing something a bit less horrible. I kinda liked the look of cobblestone, and I had a ton of it, so I threw up some walls to make the frame of a new, larger living area. Nothing fancy, just a larger sleeping storage area for all my stuff. I'm not really one of those super creative types when it comes to building things in games, though I was finding it kind of fun here in Minecraft. The next morning, a sheep or something with a skin made out of what looks like a bunch of country flags wandered near my house, and a wolf ate it. That's a shame. I bet it was super rare or something, and Google had taught me how to tame the sheep and cows by now. Well, in revenge, I killed the wolf because that's the code I live by. And with my sweet gold armor, I was feeling like exploring instead of mining all day, so I took off in a random direction. My environment had a ton of hills and rivers cutting through the hills, and I have to admit, initially I thought the graphics sucked, and well, they do, but there's a certain type of beauty to this Minecraft world. I think I'm starting to get it. As I was taking in the beauty, a witch threw potions and magic at me and killed me, making me lose all my stuff. Goodbye gold armor, and screw exploring. I went back to mining, since I needed to replace all of my gear anyway, and I punched through into a natural cave, which was really unexpected. I guess I hadn't thought that type of thing existed. It was really a neat surprise. Less neat was the skeleton archer that popped up below me and shot an arrow, knocking me upward and causing me to fall through the hole I had punched into the cave, taking massive fall damage. I very quickly learned to hate skeletons when exploring this strange cave. One of them shot me with an arrow and knocked me into lava. This exact same thing would happen at least 4 or 5 more times throughout my Minecraft career. And now I hate skeletons almost as much as I hate creepers. Almost. Making my way back down, naked again, I managed to beat the 5-minute timer and recover most of my gear that didn't fall into the lava with me when my corpse did a loot explosion. I was determined to explore those caves, and soon my efforts were rewarded when I discovered gold. I filled my greedy little pockets with as much goodies as I could find in the cave, though sadly no diamonds. I had read up on diamonds, and I very badly wanted diamond gear by now. Shooting back to the surface, I found one of the weird, tall, black figures again and decided to Google it. Enderman, nice to meet ya. Time to die. I read that Endermen were supposed to be kinda tough, but I ended up killing a few and none of them were really a big problem. Also, I got a bunch of Ender Pearls, which apparently do stuff later in the game. Google had also taught me that you can tame wild wolves and turn them into dogs, so the next day I got a chance to do just that, turning a wolf into a loyal friend. The little hearts animation was pretty cute, not gonna lie. This game was growing on me. I planted some crops because I was doing pretty poor in the food management department, and then headed back to the exciting stuff, caving and exploring. This time I broke through to a cave with magma and a bunch of resources, including more sweet gold. Also, I ended up falling into that lava eventually, but luckily pulled myself out in time to avoid dying. After loading up on coal, iron, gold, redstone, and lapis lazuli, I went up top and found it raining. Some guide I had been watching on YouTube said that you can catch a lot of stuff if you fish when it's raining. So fishing I went, and stuff I caught, including some enchanted pieces of equipment, which is kinda weird. True to form, a creeper snuck up on me while I was fishing and kabloomed me straight into the water. Seriously, I freaking hate those things. The next day I was back to my hunt for diamonds, only I accidentally broke through a wall holding back lava and almost died. Instead of diamonds, I found an Enderman deep in my mine, which seemed kinda weird, but I killed him too and scored another pearl. Back up top, I'd been working on a cow farm because I read up on enchantment and really needed the leather. Tending to my sweet dear cows, another piece of crap creeper snuck up on me and blew up my fence, my dog, and one of my cows, along with a bunch of the terrain. I really hate creepers. I chased down my cows and built a second enclosure for my sheep, only for, guess what, creeper time, and boom! there went my stupid fence and terrain. I had found diamonds by now though, and though it took me a long time to find the first vein, I'd quickly found a second the very next day. Alright, I stashed a bunch of resources by now and I was getting tired of living in a crappy little shack, so it was time to build something special. It was time to build a home for me and my happy dog friend. Oh wait, never mind, because a stupid creeper blew him up. I decided I'd build directly on the water and make myself a nice little beach house. That would require a lot of clearing of sand though, which I would use in turn for the construction of the house because I wanted it to look a bit like one of those New Mexico, Arizona desert homes. I started reclaiming land on the ocean, like I was in China illegally building military bases in the South China Sea, and made a sand bridge over to my man-made island. While diving down into my mine to dig up resources, I'd accumulated a bunch of crap I didn't want, and got the idea to bring some lava back up and make a little trash pit. So after a few buckets full of lava, I had my very own lava lake to toss crap I didn't want into. The next day, I went to check the crops I had planted and to my surprise found a turtle stuck inside the plot of wheat. It was kinda really cute, so I left it stuck inside for now. The next day I went to check on my turtle friend and guess what? Another stupid frickin' creeper exploded behind me for like the 10th time, killing my turtle and ruining my landscape for the umpteenth time. If I ever meet the person who programmed creepers, we're gonna have words. I turned my frustration back into building though, and finished my artificial island where I'd build my dream home. Or at least the home I could build with my meager skills in this game. I needed a ton of sand though for the house, so I quarried it out of a nearby island so I could turn it into sandstone. Finally, I was ready to start building and I got to work. Some lapis lazuli blocks and flowers later, and I built myself a cute little house. Sure, it's not the fanciest thing, but I kinda really liked it. Then, because I had fallen into my own lava trash disposal lake at least twice, I built a stone fence around that and surveyed my tiny little Minecraft home. Sure, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but you know what? For having started the game like 2 days ago, I was kinda proud of it. Beat my terrible stone shack, which I quickly turned into storage at least. Alright, I'll admit it, Minecraft kinda grew on me. I had goals for this tiny little digital slice of paradise, and besides exterminating the creeper species, I wanted to keep building. Next would be a perimeter wall to keep mobs out, and then a nether portal to check out what lies on the other side. This experience has been an emotional roller coaster, from the joy of building to the horror of dying in lava while holding 20 diamonds because I accidentally punched through a ceiling supporting a lava lake. I've wanted to throw my PC out the window several times thanks to this game, mostly because of creepers, but I'm also kind of in love with my little Minecraft world. And you know what? Those crappy graphics have definitely grown on me. Want to watch me play more games? Check out 24 Hours to Create the Perfect Life in The Sims, or check out this other video instead.